Hello, how are you? You are in the right space if you are looking for doTERRA continuing education. My name is Rebecca and we're going to kick things off in just a moment. You'll see your screen shifting just a little bit as I pull up our presentation for this afternoon. I always like to give you something to follow along with. Okay, and here we are. Well, I just want to make sure we're recording here, guys. I don't see that we are. Oh, we are. Okay. All right, now we're where we need to be, and I know that we're recording. So welcome. Welcome to this afternoon's chat. This is a continuing education class, and I love continuing education classes because they give you, for two reasons. First of all, the most important thing is I know you're here because you have a membership now with doTERRA, and that is already loaded with so many good things. I hope you're really beginning to discover it's not just about getting some oils delivered to your home. There's this whole community of support and all kinds of resources. So as you begin to learn more and more about the oils that you've already invested in, you begin to kind of follow this path of learning that there's all these other categories within doTERRA. This is a lifestyle brand. So yes, they are an essential oils company, the world's largest now. Did you know that? But they're a lifestyle brand. So we really, any of us educators and people who are involved in the doTERRA community, we'd really prefer you not to just get an oil or to bring it into your home and have it sit there and collect dust. What we would prefer is you start with a membership like what you did. Become a member, get a nice group of oils into your home, and then slowly over time, really begin to discover all of the different ways that they can be used. And trust me when I say, you will be learning this for a very long time. So I'm 6 years into my experience with doTERRA, and I'm continuously learning new things, not just because they keep adding new products each year, but because I'm literally finding new ways to integrate the oils into various places in my life. My goal was to detoxify my home, make sure that I was replacing my personal care products and the products that my family was using with non-toxic versions. And in a lot of cases, while it wasn't my goal, I was looking to maybe be a little bit more cost effective. So I have a sneeze coming. Excuse me, be a little bit more cost effective. And I've discovered with my oils, that is a very easy thing to achieve. There are so many different DIYs. So that said, if you've joined, which we know you have, and you haven't yet received a copy of the Super Natural Recipe Guide, you need to either reach out to myself or reach out to the person who has shared this webinar with you and get a copy of it. It's one of the nicest perks that you can receive for becoming a member of this team, okay, with doTERRA. Today's conversation is called I Have Oils, Now What? And basically I'm going to run you through a few key ways that you can implement your oils right away. Now that you've received them into your home, chances are you attended one of our initial workshops, which sometimes we call it Essential Oils 101, sometimes we call it Essential Oils Made Easy. Basically, it's a foundational essential oils course, and you learned, 3 different ways you can use your oils. You learned how to get started with the oils, which obviously you opted in, and you learned the 3 coolest things about essential oils. If you've yet to participate in a class like that, maybe you just started because you trusted the person who was recommending oils to you, then you can always access one of those classes. The nice thing about everyone working from home these days is that much of what we do is being recorded in the form of video work. So If you haven't yet seen an Essential Oils Made Easy class, you say the word and we'll make sure that you get a copy of a recent one that you can sit back and enjoy at your leisure. But for right now, I'm going to assume that you have your oils in your home, and you may be asking yourself, I have my oils, now what? I'll never forget, I started my oils journey with a kit called the Home Essentials Kit. And it had 10 of doTERRA's top oils. We still have this kit available. 10 of doTERRA's top oils and a diffuser. And I was super excited about the diffuser because that seemed pretty basic to me how to use it, right? You just add some tap water, add a couple drops of oil, plug it in, and away you go. That seemed pretty straightforward, but I had these 10 bottles of very pure, very potent essential oils in my home, and I could only remember a fraction of what the educator had taught me on how to use it. So I am so grateful that I chose doTERRA because I was able to plug into resources that helped me understand what to do with those 10 bottles. So let me ask you this in starting. Why? Just write this down or maybe ponder it just for a moment. It's just simply for your consideration. What were the 3 reasons that you purchased doTERRA? Excuse me, you heard me mention a couple of the reasons I purchased were because I wanted to detoxify my home. I wanted to eliminate some of the toxic personal care products that me and my family were using. Those are a couple of examples. And I'll tell you a third. I purchased doTERRA. You can listen and write as we go here. I also purchased doTERRA because at that time when I began with my oils, my mother was very sick. And I was looking for ways to support her through her illness. I didn't really realize that they would have such an emotional impact on me. So while I set out to accomplish one thing, and that was to support my mother, I was very pleased to learn all of the side benefits associated with it. And that one oil is still my favorite oil that attracted me to this brand like so deeply, and that is frankincense. So you've got a couple of ideas about the reasons why you purchased doTERRA in front of you right now. And perhaps, again, if you've attended one of our Essential Oils Made Easy classes, you've already given some consideration to your personal health goals. Remember when we ask you to kind of capture what are the top 3 things that you focus on? That's what I'm going to ask you to reflect back on now as well. And if you need to be dialed into resources that can help you find some solutions to experiment with, I'm going to recommend that you do that. There are apps that you can access, like doTERRA's Daily Drop. Okay, you can access the Daily Drop. If you go to the App Store on your phone or your whatever device, and you type in the Daily Drop, you will see a variety of options come up. That is a great tool. So if you're kind of a person on the go, or you do a lot of your work online, you're going to appreciate having something digital at your fingertips. Now, I also want to suggest to you that you would probably like at this point to have a physical resource in front of you. I really think it's important. I have about, I don't know, about 6 of them now. I'm just looking in my little bookshelf right where I sit every day. There are a couple of great sort of textbook guides. There's smaller versions of these. This is the next thing that you will want to invest in if you're going to, treat this investment you've made in doTERRA as a lifestyle choice. Where do you go for something like this? Glad you came to class, because this is where we share this kind of stuff. We've already talked about an app. Now I want to share with you that there are several stores, not doTERRA, not through your back office or your membership buying site, but stores outside of doTERRA that service essential oil companies, and they provide resource tools and they provide DIY tools, like if you're making I don't know, like a room deodorizer, or if you're making up personalized roller bottles for yourself, you're going to need supplies, right? So I want to share with you, you've got these oils. Now, what do you do with them? You need to find out all of the ways to work with them. So we talked about the app, and now I'm going to suggest that you get looking at a couple of different locations. One is called Oil Life. So you could go to www.oillife.com, and you're going to discover a really beautiful buying site. And within that, you'll see countless items that will support you in creating really easy tools to use in your home. Oil Life is one. There's another one called Aroma Tools. And Aroma Tools is available in the US. I believe there is also a Canadian site. I know they don't carry the entire complement of products, but that's also available to you. So again, aromatools.com. Okay, so there's right off the bat. I'm glad you came to class because there's value in knowing where to plug into resources. Additionally, did you know that doTERRA has a podcast? And every edition of this podcast is filled with great information. And I know many of you are podcasters or people who like to put something of value on, maybe while you're folding laundry or preparing dinner. And maybe you're tired of listening to the news and other things of that nature, and you just want something that's going to fill your cup and provide you with value. Maybe you want to consider plugging into the doTERRA podcast. Okay, so there's a few resources to get you started now that you've got your oils at home. Let's talk about some of the categories that you may not even know exist within doTERRA. There are all kinds of categories, and of course, dozens of products within those categories. I won't touch on them all. Basically, I want you to visualize, if you can. Have you ever seen that health pyramid that talks about how there are certain focal points in anyone's health and wellness that really need to be addressed before you can continue climbing the pyramid? If you're familiar with that, that would be great for you to have in your mind right now. But basically, you want to have your foundation taken care of first. So we cannot move any further in our conversation without talking very quickly about doTERRA's supplement program. Chances are you heard about this at your Essential Oils Made Easy class. But if you didn't, allow me to tell you now, or allow me to remind you. doTERRA's #1 selling product is not even an essential oil. We're an essential oils company, yes. However, our top selling product is Lifelong Vitality Supplements. So this is that combination pack of the 3 different supplements that you take twice a day, and that are so powerful in their results that doTERRA actually offers a 30-day money-back guarantee on them. So if this is news to you, let me just quickly suggest to you, our Lifelong Vitality supplements are some of the most elite supplements in the supplement industry these days. In fact, all of our supplemental information can be found on doTERRA.com, which you all have access to. What you would want to do when you got to doTERRA.com, there's a search bar, kind of like Google, right? When you get to that search bar, type in Lifelong Vitality or simply type in LLV. When you do that, as with any of our products, you're going to notice, you'll scroll down the page a little bit, and there'll be a small icon that says PIP. And that PIP stands for Product Information Page. I want you to click on that, open it up. Do this with lots of different oils or products or supplements. But for the Lifelong Vitality, open it up, click on it, and you will get all of the supplemental information. And this is key because if you are someone who is really invested in health and wellness, and you really want to scrutinize the values in each of the supplements, I want you to take a look at that sheet. It'll blow you away at how effective these are. So it's a combination of food, nutrition, and the power of essential oils. But if you need the approval of a physician, for example, or you'd like to share it with your naturopath, they're not going to comment one way or another as to whether or not doTERRA is a great brand for you. But what they will be concerned with is that supplemental information page where they can actually see the values of what you're consuming. Trust me when I say they will be impressed, and so will you at the results. The 30-day money-back guarantee works like this. You can take the products as they're instructed to be taken for 30 days. And if you don't experience an increase in energy, decrease in pain, you can get your money back. And tell me, prove me wrong, but I don't think there's another company out there that offers something like this. So this was important for you to know, because if you didn't start with, the Lifelong Vitality supplements in your initial purchase, this is something that you're highly likely buying from somewhere else. But now that you're a member, you can actually buy it from yourself. And every time you do, you're going to earn points that you can spend on other things. Okay, I've spent too much time on Lifelong Vitality, but it's an awesome product. You needed to know those things. Within the foundational category, though, we have a lot of other products. So I want to quickly gloss over Terrazyme, are our digestive enzymes. They are now available in both Canada and the US. Our PB Assist are our probiotics. And as of right now, they're available in the US, which both Canadian and US customers are able to access. If you're Canadian listening to this, the way you would do that is you would purchase it from the US warehouse. Really easy to do. It's just that little toggle switch in your back office. Ask me, ask the person who enrolled you. We can help you figure that out pretty easily. The difference would be that you'd be paying in US dollars for that product. It will soon be approved by Health Canada, I'm sure, and be available through our Canadian warehouse, as are these other products. Foundational item, lemon and frankincense. Maybe you got that in your opening order. If you ordered the Healthy Essentials or one of those great value kits, chances are you have these two already. So you're already several steps ahead of the game. Let's talk about the next category, which is rest in managing stress. This is a big one, especially right now. Can you feel the agitation in the environment? Maybe not specifically in your home, but maybe yes. But as a community, as a world at large, there is a very heightened sense of agitation happening right now. So your role is to take epic care of you. So how does that happen? We've already mentioned Lifelong Vitality supplements. We've talked frankincense, because I think you might have that one already. Balance, maybe yes, maybe no, but this is our grounding blend. So write balance down, write down Lifelong Vitality and write down balance if they didn't come in your opening order. Lavender, I'm guessing you have. Serenity oil and Serenity soft gels. Have you heard about this dynamic duo? If you have trouble resting, and that is to say you have trouble either falling asleep or staying asleep, allow me to tell you about Serenity. It's known as our restful blend, and it comes in a couple of different ways. It comes in an oil form, so it's very easy to add to a diffuser. If you don't have a diffuser, remember you can dilute it, maybe apply it to the chest, or just simply put it in the palm of your hand. Cup your hands and breathe it in. This will allow your body to relax and begin to soften some of that chaos that's going on in your mind. There's another option for the Serenity, though, as well. And it literally just became available in Canada within, I think, the past month or 2 months. Time is a big warp for me right now, so bear with me on that. But Serenity soft gels are brilliant. How do you use those? They're like a supplement, so they come in a bottle. You would take one about an hour before you're ready to go to sleep. So maybe you're settling in, maybe you do tea before bed, or maybe you like to read, or whatever your nightly routine is. I want you to consider adding Serenity 1 hour before you're ready to go to sleep. Even if you're not someone who experiences sleep issues per se, I would encourage you to give this product a try, because we don't know how well we can rest until we've experienced deep rest. Okay, so give it a try. It is really lovely, a lovely product. And Adaptive Oil and Adaptive tongue-tied this afternoon, Adaptive Soft Gels. I'm going to talk about Adaptive in just a few moments. Another category, exercise and weight management. Definitely this doesn't get talked about in our 101 classes, but this is a category that we are really proud to feature a beautiful, effective collection of products, including our Deep Blue Rub, including our supplements, of course, but we also have food nutrition, our shakes. We've got trim shakes, chocolate, vanilla. Maybe you haven't explored your own back office yet to know that these things are there. I'm excited to be able to let you know that they are in fact there. Another category, to achieving your health goals is reducing toxic load. I talked about this being a personal goal of mine when I first started. We have a lot of options for your consideration when it comes to meeting this particular health goal. And that would be, of course, having a diffuser in your home. If it didn't come in your starter kit, can I encourage you at some point, either order it through your membership, through doTERRA, or get a diffuser in your home, HomeSense, wherever you need to purchase one. The diffuser itself isn't as important as the oils you put in the diffuser. You guys all know doTERRA is the leader in terms of potency and purity and therapeutic value. So that's the important piece. But by using a diffuser, what you're doing is you're cleaning the air you breathe. Remember, we talked about that in the 101 class, how important aromatherapy is to your overall wellness. Having a diffuser makes that so easy, and makes it easy not only for you, but for everyone that's in the space where you've got that diffuser going. Do keep that in mind. Our cleaning concentrate, our On Guard cleaning concentrate, as well as the laundry detergent, the toothpaste, these are some of the tools that I know you're out buying somewhere else. You're buying a cleaner from somewhere, you're buying laundry detergent, you're going to Shoppers Drug Mart and getting some toothpaste. I'm here to tell you that with your membership, this is really a place where you could consider meeting the health goal of reducing your toxic load on yourself. Purchase it from yourself, essentially, and when you do so, earn points to spend on future products. So becoming a member is really, really powerful in terms of what it can offer you. We also have spa products, so making that goal of reducing the toxicity within personal products very achievable. And of course, skincare as well. I was a bit of a skincare snob for many, many years. There really wasn't a price that I wouldn't pay for good skincare. That was one thing that I really prioritized, and I have been extraordinarily impressed with the doTERRA skincare line. So we have an essentials collection, and we have a collection that we call Virage. And if you were to message me later today and say, you mentioned those two skincare categories, which one do you like best? I can't answer you on that. The verdict is still out. All these years later, I can't decide. So I have both in my home, and just sort of depending on the aroma I'm looking to enjoy that day, that's how I pick the product line I'm going to use. Okay. I want to impart on you just a few key ideas, a few key ways that you can use your oils. And maybe this is already something that you've started to do, but a few of these things, maybe you haven't gotten to just yet, and perhaps you'll prioritize them today or within the next few days and really begin to enjoy your oils in their full capacity. So the first tip would be using your diffuser, but getting creative with that diffuser. So we have a lot of us who educate in the world of doTERRA will share diffuser recipes. And that's why getting your hands on that supernatural recipe guide is such a great thing, because we have a lot of diffuser recipes within that. But my advice to you is this: you're quickly going to start discovering what oils you appreciate the most. You'll just be drawn to them for lots of different reasons. They make you feel good. You're noticing everyone in your family is calmer, whatever the case may be. Start experimenting with blends in your diffuser, and don't be afraid of it, okay? There isn't anything that you can put in your diffuser from an oils perspective that'll be wrong. For me, I'm not a big fan of the aroma of oregano, so I wouldn't gravitate to diffusing that every day. But if someone in my home is not feeling well, you bet yourself I'm playing with a little bit of oregano and On Guard, for example, or On Guard and Breathe. There's lots to choose from. Right now, my big favorite, I promised you I was going to talk for a moment on Adaptive, which is our mental wellness blend. That one, a few drops of Adaptive plus a few drops of Wild Orange every single morning in our diffuser, so that when everyone begins to wake up, our home is filled with this very peaceful, very soothing aroma. It's also uplifting too. It's hard to imagine something that's soothing, but at the same time uplifting, and yet it is. You have to experience that for yourself. So tip number one, get creative in your diffuser. Tip number two, Have you used them internally yet? This is one I find in my experiences with people beginning for the first time with oils. They wait for the internal usage until they really trust the product. And if that's you, that's great. But if you're ready to try the third, well, remember we have aromatic, topical, and internal usage. If you're ready for that third way to use your oils, let me recommend that you get out one of your citrus oils or peppermint. Some people even like lavender, not me so much, but to each his own, right? The citrus oils are brilliant in the water, and they make the experience of hydrating yourself unique, and it makes the whole experience more mindful, and it helps detox the body, boost mood, tastes awesome. Trust me on this. So lemon, wild orange, grapefruit, green mandarin. If some of these didn't arrive in your starter kit that you chose, write a few of them down. You probably got lemon, but wild orange, grapefruit, and green mandarin, I think you need to have. So just jot those down for future purchases, okay? You want to remember a very important thing. You never want to add oils to plastic. You can experiment with this if you want to. Take a plastic cup, put some water in it, put an essential oil in it, and leave it. It will eat away at the plastic, and we know that plastic, when it's broken down like that, is toxic. So it doesn't serve any wellness purpose for you to add it to a plastic container of any kind. So do keep in mind, glass, stainless steel, ceramic only. Okay, very important. You don't want that leaching effect of plastic to happen with your oils. Next, we want to remind you, if you're just getting your oils, that diluting it's pretty darn important. So applying essential oils to your skin is something that I highly recommend. Unless it's a citrus oil, I'm going to go back to citrus because we just talked about it. Citrus oils on the skin can really cause some sun sensitivity, particularly if you are already someone who is predisposed for burning in the sun. You do want to remember that that's one of the key safety considerations with your citrus oils, is that you do not use them and then go out into the sun. In fact, we recommend 12 hours difference between you and using your citrus oil and you going out into the sun. So use them at night if you're loving the aroma. Just don't use them when you're planning to be out in the sun. Not a good idea. For your other oils, however, applying to the skin is a terrific idea. The skin is our largest organ, as you know, so it loves to absorb and facilitate the movement of those therapeutic values in each of the oils and get them where they need to go. So it's a great, great way to use them. But the sensitivity piece, it's a real thing. Many people are sensitive to using essential oils, especially ones that are potent like doTERRA. So having a good quality carrier oil is your next step if you don't already have that in your home. So a couple of considerations. You can order it from your membership now. We have fractionated coconut oil available through doTERRA, and that's something I'll usually add that to my cart. Not every month. I don't usually need it every month, but usually every other month. And the reason I like the coconut oil as the carrier is because when you apply it to your skin, it absorbs really quickly and it doesn't leave any kind of oily residue behind. So that's a nice feature. There are some dilution ratios for you to consider. And sorry, I should have mentioned, if coconut oil isn't your thing, avocado oil, sometimes people like the thickness of castor oil. My advice on whatever oil you choose to use, make sure it's organic, wherever possible, cold pressed. Those are always good things to be looking for. Good quality against your skin, good quality in, on, and around your body at all times, right? Wherever possible. The recommendation on ratio is an important thing to consider. I've got a little diagram up there that you can take a look at. When I'm sharing the oils and people ask how much carrier oil and how much essential oil, I'll be honest with you, I try to keep it really simple so that you're not trying to remember a graph in your head or looking for this image or anything along those lines. I want you to think about the cup, the palm of your hand, and the little natural cup that you can form when you pinch your fingers together and literally make that little gully in the palm of your hand. You're going to use, it's sort of in between a teaspoon and a tablespoon of carrier oil and a single drop of essential oil on more sensitive people like babies, for example, the elderly, people who are predisposed to being sensitive to everything. You know who you are if that's you. That would be a great way to think about it. It's more like a teaspoon to a drop of essential oil for those of us who are less sensitive. And you'll begin to discover what a proper dilution ratio is for you the more you get comfortable using your oils topically. Okay. We talked about supplements already, but let me just briefly go over this. The recommendation is to start slowly. If you do invest, when you do invest in your Lifelong Vitality supplements, and I realize I'm going back to this now, I want you to remember that while there is a 30-day money-back guarantee, if you know that this is something that you're just going to move forward with, of course, you can do half doses. So the recommended amount is 2 supplements, 2, 2, and 2. There's 3 bottles. So you'd be taking 6 capsules or supplements each time you took them. Now, some people prefer to do that a little bit slower. I know I have a couple of family members who they started out slow, they cut that in half, and they continue to do it that way. Remember, this is your journey, your lifestyle path. So while we recommend it be taken a certain way, there are variations on that for everyone, and do just honor your body and the response you're receiving from it. Make it a lifestyle. So don't do what I've done in the past. You know, prior to doTERRA, I would buy supplements. You spend a fair amount on supplements, that is for sure. And I would have them, I'd use them for a week, and then I'd stop using them. And then I'd be back on again for another couple of weeks and fall off. And some of you may be smiling because this sounds like you. Commit to yourself that you're going to see this through for the 30 days at least, because once you've done something consistently for 30 days, it's pretty much a habit. Okay, so make it a lifestyle. Commit to yourself on this one for sure, because your oils are always going to work well, but who knows how epic they could really work for you if you were taking great care of yourself from the inside out. And keep at it. That's the last message with respect to the supplements. Just to give you an idea, you're putting together a cart. Maybe it's for next month. Maybe it's for this month in June, because if you're listening to this, it's June 2020 right now, and we have this awesome promotion on where you can receive 30% of your PV back. Okay, and I wanted to give you an idea of what PV looked like. So when I combined the cost, the actual price of these products together, many of which I've mentioned to you through our conversation, it would cost $151. The PV stands for product value. You might remember that from your Essential Oils Made Easy class. PV is the value that's associated with it. So in this case, you would be receiving for the month of June 2020, 30% back on your PV spend on 126. Okay, typically as a new doTERRA user, you would be receiving 10% back. So this is a phenomenal time to try a few products, you know, get a lot of points banked in your cart so that in the future you can spend those points on products of your choice. Just to give you an idea, yeah, the Lifelong Vitality Pack, it's worth 60 PV just on its own. So it's a great thing. I mean, every 30 days, why wouldn't you buy it from yourself? You're going to buy it from somebody, buy it from you. Same with the toothpaste. Okay, moving along. We talked about the Lifelong Vitality supplements already. I wanted to get to this product because I feel like now that you have your oils, if you did not start with the Healthy Essentials kit, you likely did not receive Adaptive in your opening purchase order. I want to introduce it to you now if you didn't get to hear about it at your Essential Oils 101 class. I've been telling everyone about this blend because it's my firm belief, that every household needs this. There is no question that every single one of us experience stress on a daily basis, and we all process and digest that stress in a variety of different ways. And some of the outcomes over time can be negative. So in saying that, if you knew of a tool that was easy to use, literally just take the bottle off and smell it. If you can breathe, you can do this. And you knew that it was accessible and it was easy to use, and it could be very affordable because you'd be buying it from yourself and maybe using points to redeem on this, why wouldn't you do it? It's so powerful for every member of your family. And the way it is used is this. We actually have 3 products in the Adaptive collection. It's called our Calming Blend. I keep calling it the Mental Wellness Blend. I apologize. That's just how it resonates with me, because it is so profound at supporting us with soothing anxiety, helping us balance those sad, more negative emotions. We're all stressed at various levels throughout every single day. In fact, there are studies that have been done that show that the average human in North America is exposed to at least 50 stressful events over the course of the day. And we know that when stress happens, hormones are released into the body. And that's not a bad thing, because those hormones are released to protect you. However, when this happens repeatedly and over an extended period of time, it can have a detrimental effect on your physical well-being. So how could you possibly integrate one of the 3 adaptive products into your life? Well, you could look at this one. This is the simplest place to start. This is the oil. You know how to use oils. You put them in the diffuser, or you put a drop on the palm of your hand, or you use it on your pulse points. You basically get it somewhere around you where you can smell it and breathe it in. The second way that you could use the adaptive product is by investing in the adaptive roller bottle. You probably were exposed to roller bottles at your 101 class. These are so cool because they are already diluted with coconut oil, which means that they would be safe for you to say to your child, it looks to me like you're having a moment. I'm going to offer you this. I want you to roll this on the bottoms of your feet. If you want to experience something like you've never experienced before, allow a child to feel empowered in solving their own issue with something as simple as an essential oil. Don't do it for them. When they're really upset, they're usually squiggling around or they're not receptive to what you're offering. But when you give them an opportunity, things change. So, and that goes the same for us as well. I reference children because, and I do this a lot, I find, and I think that's because children are not skeptical. So if you ever want to get like a really real raw response from someone, you ask a child and they'll just give it to you straight, or they'll demonstrate for you a reaction. Okay, so keep that in mind. So a roller bottle in adaptive would be another great thing to consider adding to a future cart. Third, this comes now in a supplement form. Now, the supplements are available, again, strictly through our US warehouse right now, but that does not limit us Canadians from getting it. That just means that as Canadians, we would order from the US warehouse. And again, I mentioned how easy it is to do that. You'll go into your back office and you'll see there's a Canadian and a US flag. Click on the flag and that will open up the warehouse and all of its available contents. Super easy. The supplements are available for you to be consuming the benefits of these 8 oils integrated into this product, and it's available to you through this internal process. So it was important for me to share this one with you because now that you have your oils, now that you have your membership, I know you're seeking, new and unique and sustainable ways to use this. I find the Adaptive Collection has created more positive responses within families, within households, than anything else I've recommended in the 6 years that I've been doing this. So do consider that. If you have questions, I want you to know that my commitment as a guide or as a resource is to help you sort through whatever those may be. Now, chances are you're listening to me, but you have a more direct person who has supported you getting started with doTERRA. And if that's the case, please associate with them, ask them the questions. We are all very well versed in the answers within doTERRA, and whenever we're not, we ask each other or we find the answers together. So you're always welcome to ask whatever questions arise as a result of having your oils and being new to the whole experience. I do at this point though, I want to shift with you because I don't know whether or not it would have been brought up at your Essential Oils 101 class, but there is a business opportunity within doTERRA, and it's important that you know about it. And the reason, what would the reason be? People come to our classes, they used to come to our physical classes and have a really specific reason to be there. A small percentage of them would be there because maybe they suffered with migraines regularly, or another percentage would be there because their kids were having emotional issues, or somebody would be there because they had digestive discomfort regularly. There would be all these different people there for different reasons, 10% here, 5%, whatever. But 100% of the people who would show up to the classes, it was a certainty to me that they could all benefit from financial healing. So that's why it's so important just to really briefly share with you what's available to you, especially now that you're becoming more aware of doTERRA. You're beginning to have your own personal experiences. You should know, because before long, people will start noticing differences in you. You'll likely start sharing your experiences and talk about the products very naturally. And if that sounds like you already, then you need to know about this, because that's literally as easy as it is. So let's talk about these key points with doTERRA, and then I'll wrap it right up, and you can ask questions of me about the business or whomever it is that offered you this webinar. I think I mentioned it before, doTERRA is now the largest essential oil company in the world. This is a big deal because we're the most tested and most trusted oils in the market. That is what makes us so extraordinary, and which has lent itself to doTERRA becoming the largest essential oil company in the world. You don't get there by cutting corners. That is an absolute fact in any type of business. But when it comes to the health of human beings, the wellness of human beings, it's a non-negotiable. So doTERRA is used by doctors and hospitals worldwide. If you want to do a little digging on that, we're so happy to share that kind of thing with you. You'll start seeing more and more conversations around this going forward. Many people, they can be a little bit skeptical about trying a natural approach to healing specific issues in their life. We've been trained, we've been taught since the start of our lives that we trust our doctors, and there's no question that they are phenomenal. But there's more layers to how to treat yourself. So their mainstream approach is very appropriate in some situations, but it's important for you to know that there are physicians out there that are practicing a more integrative approach to health and wellness, and essential oils are really starting to take front and center stage on that. So do keep an eye on that. We work in a very ethically and sustainable way. Everything that is sourced for doTERRA is done in a way that is beyond equitable, beyond fair. We work directly with the farmers. I can speak from a little bit of experience on this. I was very fortunate to travel with my husband to Guatemala, where we quite literally were able to follow the process of cardamom from seed all the way to distillation and availability to the consumer. And it is a mind-blowing experience. The relationship with the farmers in Guatemala, you would believe that everyone had been friends their entire lives. There's a beautiful relationship happening, so that what we experience on our side of the bottle is these powerful medicinal therapeutic effects. What happens on the other side of the bottle is equally as powerful, because these farmers are being compensated in a very generous way. In many cases, they're being supported and paid ahead of actually receiving the product to develop trust. Because in a lot of these areas where the raw materials are grown, they have been abused in those areas by middlemen who are just trying to procure ingredients and who don't necessarily care about the welfare of the community. And most of the communities are third world. So it is a very important focus of doTERRA to make sure that everyone is being taken care of. With doTERRA, considering this as a business, it's important for you to know that our retention rate of customers, meaning people who purchase on a regular monthly basis, is anywhere between 65 to 70%. Please, if you're a researcher, stack that up against any other company out there and you will be shocked at how high that number is. We're a privately owned company. That is a valuable piece of information for you to know, because we're owned by 7 individuals who have become very familiar to all of us. We all feel a kinship with the owners because they've made themselves very available to us. They call you by name and they sit with you at dinner and they ask people out in the field, how are things going? How can we support? What can we do that is different? This is powerful stuff. And when you're privately owned, all of your decisions are your decisions. doTERRA doesn't have to respond to an executive board. They don't have to, fulfill shareholder agreements. None of that stuff is applicable with doTERRA, which alleviates the pressure of, it alleviates the pressure that a lot of companies are burdened with these days, is fulfilling obligations that are just not reasonable and certainly don't benefit the customer or the wellness advocate, which is what we would refer to ourselves as. Like I said, we have an incredible ownership team and we are a debt-free company with no outside funding. Why would I tell you that, as I'm trying to encourage you to think about doTERRA as a business? Because when you are debt-free and you are the world's largest essential oils company, you have the opportunity to create focus where you see it best fit. I already mentioned doTERRA's priority is creating pure and potent products, but doing so in a way where they're partnering with farmers around the world and seeking the advice of us as the wellness advocates. What direction does this need to go in? How do we grow? How do we continue to be the phenomenal force that we are? And when you're debt-free, you can invest in those areas. So with respect to doTERRA, we talked about the fact that they will be growing in the medical world. Research costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time. But when you don't owe anybody anything and you're able to make your own decisions as a company, you're able to apply those resources in exactly the place where they're needed. And you know where else they place the resources? With us, the wellness advocates. Our compensation plan is like nothing you've seen before. So in closing, if I've piqued your curiosity about the business, I'm glad for that. But I think you need to do a little bit more exploring. Find out what the compensation plan looks like. Think to yourself, I'm probably going to continue loving using my oils. People will notice an improvement in many aspects of myself. Maybe my mood has been improved. Maybe, there's many things that people can observe about you. So naturally, I will begin sharing my oils experience. Why not get compensated for it? Be a sharer within doTERRA, and perhaps once you see what sharing doTERRA looks like and feels like, maybe then you will say to yourself, you know what? This is the kind of work that I wish to do. This is how I want to show up in the world. I want to serve other people, and I want to do it in this gentle, positive, powerful way. So if that's you, you need to ask more questions. Definitely allow us to provide you with the information that most resonates with you, and then we'll have a conversation about it. So I want to thank you for tuning in this afternoon. I know there's lots of other places that you can be, but I do appreciate you spending the time with me, and I very much look forward to connecting with many of you in the future. Thanks so much for watching.